If you walk down the personal care aisle of any modern supermarket today, you will find a dizzying array of options. There are pads, tampons, menstrual cups, period underwear, and organic cotton wraps. We take this massive, multi-billion-dollar industry entirely for granted. But for 99% of human history, these options did not exist. There was no running water, no modern underwear, and no grocery stores. So, how did ancient women handle their periods? The answer involves a massive biological twist, nature's most absorbent plants, and a surprising reframe of prehistoric social life. To understand this, we first have to bust a massive biological myth. Many people assume that ancient women dealt with their periods every single month, just like modern women do. But biologically, they didn't. In fact, ancient women menstruated far less than we do today. A modern woman in a developed nation will experience around 400 to 450 menstrual cycles in her lifetime, but a prehistoric hunter-gatherer likely experienced only 50 to 100. Our ancestors spent almost their entire reproductive lives on biological pause. To start, they reached puberty much later, often around age 16 or 17, due to lower body fat and high-energy lifestyles. Once they reached adulthood, they spent a massive portion of their lives either pregnant or actively breastfeeding. Prehistoric mothers breastfed their children for up to 3 or 4 years. This intense, around-the-clock breastfeeding naturally suppresses ovulation, a phenomenon called lactational amenorrhea. When you add in seasonal food shortages that caused temporary weight loss, ancient women were rarely actually having periods. It was a seasonal, occasional event, not a monthly routine. But when they did have their periods, what did they actually use? Before the invention of woven textiles, the options were entirely natural. In cold northern climates, women used highly absorbent mosses, specifically sphagnum moss. Sphagnum moss is a biological wonder. It can hold up to 20 times its weight in liquid and has natural antibacterial properties. Women would harvest it, dry it out, and use it as a highly effective, natural disposable pad. In other parts of the world, women used softened animal skins, wool, wood shavings, or bundles of dry grass. In ancient Egypt, wealthy women used softened papyrus, while ancient Greeks wrapped lint around small wooden sticks to make early, primitive tampons. However, for a significant portion of our evolutionary history, before the invention of tight-fitting clothing and underwear, women may not have used anything at all. In early nomadic hunter-gatherer societies, clothing was loose, and humans lived outdoors. Without underwear to hold absorbent materials in place, women simply let the blood flow naturally. It wasn't seen as dirty or shameful, it was just a normal bodily function in a communal outdoor environment. Free-flowing was simply the most practical option. But as humans transitioned to settled agricultural societies, the cultural view of menstruation shifted, and a controversial institution emerged: the menstrual hut. If you read old anthropological texts, the menstrual hut is often described as a dark, oppressive place where women were forcefully isolated, treated as dirty, and cast out from the community. It sounds like a horrific tool of prehistoric patriarchy, but modern female anthropologists began interviewing women in surviving tribal societies, and they discovered a completely different reality. For many women, the menstrual hut wasn't a prison, it was a sanctuary. It was the Stone Age version of a women's cooperative wellness retreat. While inside the hut, women were completely exempt from their normal daily labor. They didn't have to gather firewood, grind grain, or cook meals for the men. Instead, they sat together, rested, gossiped, and shared ancestral wisdom. It was where older women taught younger girls about childbirth, herbal medicine, and tribal history. In a highly demanding, physically exhausting world, the menstrual hut was a rare, state-mandated vacation with your closest friends. We have built a modern world of ultimate convenience, but we have also built a world of isolation. We buy our sanitary products in quiet embarrassment, hide tampons up our sleeves on the way to the office bathroom, and treat a natural biological cycle like a secret inconvenience. Our ancestors lacked our technology, but they possessed a deep communal understanding of the body. They recognized menstruation not as a shameful secret, but as a normal, manageable rhythm of life. And they used it to build some of our very first networks of female solidarity and support.